Welcome in, everyone. Marie Seaside, Brooke Comer, welcome. Brooke, welcome in. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome in. Timbo Slice. Liz, welcome in. A wonderful world. Liz, welcome back. How was your trip? I was watching your posts earlier today. Zion National Park. Gorgeous, gorgeous photos, by the way. Gorgeous posts. I never actually made it into Zion. I went to the park, but I never actually made it in or did any hiking there. It looks so beautiful. Welcome in, everybody. We'll begin in a couple of minutes, 10 minutes after the hour. Liz, what was the itinerary? So you went to Zion. Did you go? I think I remember you telling me about it. Telling us about it. Zion and Bryce Canyon. Oh, nice. Hey, friends. Just did my skincare and slipped into bed. I love it. Wonderful world. I'm glad you are ready to go. I know, same here. Fed the cats, put things away. Now I'm ready for my read alouds tonight. How's the weather doing for everybody right now? Hopefully everybody's safe and warm. We'll begin in a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for 10 minutes after the hour or 20 people, whichever comes first. Chicago. Oh, wonderful world. You're getting the brunt of it. Snow is finally melting. It was 48. Yeah, 48 degrees that's pretty warm for you guys. Still under ice. Snow day number 8 tomorrow. Amber UTC, really? Wow. Wonderful world. Chicago. I was looking at the Lake Michigan. Is it Lake Michigan? It's all frozen. Of course, Chicago always gets really cold though. It's really nice. From what I hear, February is supposed to be, I've been hearing, I was watching a post earlier about the weather, but I fell asleep. Yes, it's so cold I missed summer. Yeah. I believe there's supposed to be some more weather coming in February. So we're not done with winter yet. I know, right, Liz? Hey, Bree, welcome in. Bree, how are you doing? How's work? We'll begin in a couple of minutes, guys. We'll just wait for 10 minutes after the hour or 20 people in the room. Get comfortable. Right, Pebs? It was a day I lost my voice today. Oh no. Princess G, welcome in. That's always difficult, especially for a teacher. You can't talk and you have to force yourself to. Team Emmerich, welcome in. Team Emmerich, how's your Sunday? You need to go back to school? Is he back where he belongs? Back at the university? I was so over it by the end of the day. Brie, I could tell. Yeah, I get it. We've had a math quiz. Hey, Barbie, welcome in. We had a math quiz on Friday, and some of the kids were absent, so it came in today. I was so over that math test. It's like 5 periods of math tests over and over and over again. Oh my god. I don't want to see negative and positive numbers for a while. Or a number line. Oh, did he survive the substitute? How did he like it? Was it a lot for him, or did he enjoy it? Yeah, Wonderful World was a lot. My assistant, she really helps out. She really helps out a lot. She can tell when I'm like over it. I'll go to my desk and just start typing something because I'm like, this is too much. I enjoy helping the kids, but what's difficult is when the kids come in and they need like help for each one. Brie, really important. Oh my gosh. And sometimes you just don't know if sometimes you just don't know if they don't know it or if they want you to do it for them. And those are the ones that take up a lot of energy because you kind of have to like push them a little. And then when you push them, they're like, ugh. But I don't know if they're not able to do it or they're just not wanting to do it. So that's the draining part. Prince says, yeah, we put Snoopy in the back. We had some floating hearts earlier, which were really fun, but it didn't have any music in the background. So. You love Snoopy, Princess? Oh, nice. All right, let's go ahead and begin. You guys are already at 4K. Thank you so much for all the taps. Really appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and begin. I hope everybody had a good, yeah, I said that is the real world. Exactly, Team Emmerich. Woo-wee! He's too young, though, to give himself over to teaching it. Too young. Still enjoy his life. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is Monday night. I hope everybody had a good night, a good beginning to their week. If not, we are all here together to enjoy stories, peace, quiet, and I'll look it up. Team Emmerich. Prince Hairflip, welcome in. Stories tonight. Let's set the timer for 1 minute. We're going to go ahead and set the timer. Our goal tonight is 45,000 K likes. Let's tap and see if we can get to that goal before the end. Let's see if we can get to 10K before the end of the first book. All right. February 2nd, it is Black History Month. We've been reading our Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. We always got to remember our foundation of the United States, where we came from, who are the people that worked really hard to make this country what it is. Okay, so we are going to be reading about, let's see, who did we read about last time? Katherine Johnson, Shirley Chisholm. Oh, we read Nina Simone is who we read, and then we read Audre Lorde, poet, I think. Raven Wilkerson. Raven Wilkinson, ballerina, 1935 to 2018. Oh, so she just recently passed. Raven's love for dance began at the age of 5, when her mother took her to a performance by the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. 15 years later, she made history by becoming their first full-time African-American dancer. It was not an easy journey. The life of a ballerina is never easy. But Raven also faced prejudice and discrimination because of her race. The Ballet Russe toured through the segregated South, and it was risky to have an integrated cast. Friends warned her that they would never take her because she was black. Her talent was undeniable, though, and in 1955, Raven was accepted on a trial basis. She was fair-skinned, so she was encouraged to wear white makeup. She kept her race a secret, but refused to lie when she was asked outright. Breaks my heart. Even though she had a successful 2 years with the Ballet Russe, racism put limitations on her career. Exhausted and heartbroken, she left dance for a while. In 1967, she was invited to join the Dutch National Ballet and moved to Holland for 6 years. As she was nearing the age of 40, she believed her dancing career to be over, so she retired and moved back to the United States. Almost immediately, she received a call from the ballet master of the New York City Opera and was asked to dance with him at Lincoln Center. Raven danced until she was 50 and continued acting in the opera until 2011. Every step of the way was a challenge, but Raven persisted. Her strength and grace led the way for dancers such as Misty Copeland to take on the role of principal dancer at the American Ballet. At the American Ballet Theater, and deftly long-standing beauty and body standards for ballerinas. Okay, Raven Wilkinson, one of the very first African-American ballerinas here in the United States. The end. We love a good historical piece. Learning about our history here in the United States, always a good way to start the live. Get that brain warmed up. Let's set the timer for 1 minute. What did everybody think about that one? Yes, very important. I give that one definitely a 10. You always have to start the live with a good historical piece, one that will help us to remember our heritage. Tonight's tea is going to be, this is orange, spiced orange with a lavender syrup. Really good. Love that first sip. Bree 10, Amber UGC 10, Prince Hartford, yeah, gotta love it. Princess G Great, Barbie 10. Oh, Wonderful World, yeah, it was that good. Okay, we are at 10K. You guys are doing a fantastic job with those likes. I really appreciate it. Lisa Brown 1706, welcome in. There goes our timer. Okay, let's dig in the stacks. We're going to read this one. This one's going to be a little bit lengthy. This one's a modern retelling of Rapunzel set in a vibrant Afro-Caribbean landscape. We're going to get cultured tonight. And I saw this one and I really loved the cover of it. Because look at all of that design. Princess, not yet. We're going to we're gonna keep the tank going, but we're gonna make it into a terrarium. And then once I was asking my friend this weekend about terrariums because she's huge about plants. So once we get the terrarium going, then we're going to put some fish in it. Oh, Liz, you didn't hear it, huh? Oh no, Liz is one of our major donors. 2 weekends ago, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we found out that he passed. He passed on. He had a good life. He was with us for a good 6 7 months. Um, I think it was. I mean, he was by himself. I don't think he had any like diseases like I think they call it ick. I didn't see anything. I think he just, they say they're very sensitive and they're very what do you call it? They don't last too long. Yes, we've bereaved. We've definitely bereaved. We don't want to replace him right away because we don't want to replace his memory. We want to keep his memory alive. Oh, Prince Hairfluff, you didn't know either? The two major donors. I'm sorry, guys. But we are going to make a terrarium. This is our tank. Tank's thriving. I did put in some new water. I turned up the filter so it would filtrate the water a little bit quicker. I moved the rocks around so all the little stuff at the bottom would go into the water. We're cleaning out the water right now. We're gonna get my friend told me to get a pathos. Yeah, he will live in our hearts. Yeah. Or he too, Maddie. Right. Yeah, he really thrived. He was a little fish and they got really big. I think we're gonna put a pathos right here in this space. We're gonna take the cover off and we're gonna let it grow on the outside. So we're gonna put a little plant in here, let it grow on the outside, and then once we get that established, because we got to give it some fertilizer water, then we'll put some fish in here. Hey, Georgia Peach, welcome in. So we'll be getting a plant pretty soon. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I was looking around to see what they had. But yeah, Liz, right? A lot going on. Okay, the magic of Kalilu. I think it's Kalilu, yeah. The magic of Kalilu. But this is a modern retelling of Rapunzel. But gorgeous pictures. Nice vibrant colors. We love our vibrant blues, reds. And I like her afro here and her little flowers that she has in it. So cute. Open the end page. We get all these really cool illustrations in here. Yeah, the book cover is really good. It says, note from the author. I've always loved the fairy tale Rapunzel, about a girl who is taken from her parents and locked in a tower, then uses her hair in her quest to escape. My idea for a story of captivity and freedom stretches far beyond fairy tales to my own African ancestors, whose forced relocation is very real to me. The magic Kalilu was inspired by the stories I heard of Africans who made patterns in their cornrowed hair and used them as maps to escape from their enslavers. Wow, very interesting. I have been told that some hairstyles recorded the obstacles they would encounter en route, with cornrows representing the roads they should follow. The number of braids indicated how many roads they needed to walk, or the exact place to meet someone who would help them on their journey. Sometimes gold or seeds were hidden in the cornrows to help them survive after they escaped. My tale, The Magic Kalilu, pays homage to my ancestors and the roads they walked for freedom. Very interesting. It's going to be a fascinating read. Long, long ago, somewhere far, far away, a large Kalilu plant grew in the center of a small village square. So here's the Kalilu plant right here. In the small village square. Its leaves were big and lush and green, and they spread out wide and tall, like huge fingers reaching up to the sun. No one knew how the plant had gotten there. It just had always been. The villagers watered and nurtured the Kalilu plant. and as they did so, more leaves grew. The more they loved and looked after the plant, the more it flourished. For this was no ordinary callaloo plant. This plant was magical. When a villager ate one of its leaves and made a wish, their wish came true. The villagers had everything they needed and everything they wanted. So this is the village. A nice, vibrant, colorful, bright village with the callaloo plant right in the middle. And they would water it. Nobody knows where it came from or where its beginnings were, but it's always been there. And they would water it. The more they loved and looked after the plant, the more it flourished. For this was no ordinary callaloo plant. This plant was magical. When a villager ate one of its leaves and made a wish, their wish came true. However, in the village lived a greedy, selfish man, and he wanted more than anything. He wanted all, and he wanted all for himself. One day, the greedy man decided to steal the plant so he could have all the wishes. He waited for nighttime. Then, when the villagers were asleep, he crept into a village square and uprooted the plant. He plucked a leaf from its stalk, ate it immediately, and made a wish. I wish to have this plant all to myself, he said, clutching the callaloo tightly. And suddenly, the wicked man, found himself between somewhere and nowhere, alone. So this is the guy. He wanted the plant all to himself. There he is, munching on down, trying to get healthy. Then, stuffing more leaves in his mouth, he said, I wish for the biggest house with fancy ornaments. I wish for a huge farm on acres of land. I wished for lots of farm animals, so many, the most. I wished for a barbed wire fence to surround my land. And I wished for dragons and snakes to guard my magic callaloo. And as he greedily ate more and more callaloo leaves, he wished for more and more things. So there he is, just kicking it, eating those callaloo leaves, just asking for everything. Sounds like our current billionaires today. Just taking. And all his wishes were granted. He had the biggest house with fancy ornaments, a huge farm on acres of land, lots of farm animals, so many, the most, and a barbed wire fence surrounding his land, dragons and snakes guarding the callaloo, and much, much more. So there's his grand mansion. He's just living the life there. The fountain, the dragons. The wicked man ate and wished and ate and wished until he had so many things he could hardly move. He grew lazier and lazier and spent more and more days lying in his hammock, eating and drinking all the food and drink he wished for. So lazy was he that he didn't water or nurture the callaloo. And the plant got smaller and smaller as fewer and fewer leaves grew on it. Soon there was only one leaf left. So there's the callaloo. It was flourishing in the village square. And now look at it. Yeah, the illustrations on this are gorgeous. I agree. Down in the village, no one knew where the magic callaloo had gone. Without the plant to grant their wishes, the villagers had to do more for themselves. They helped one another too. Most were content with their new way of life, but living in the village were a husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs., who were very unhappy. Mr. and Mrs. didn't have any children, and more than anything in the world, they longed for a child. If only the magic callaloo had not been stolen, said Mrs. I would wish for a child, but it wasn't to be, and the days were long, and she remained very unhappy. So here's the couple, the Mr. and Mrs. life went on in the village. They learned. Oh, thank you so much for the sour buddy. They got along without the Kalilu, but this one couple really wanted to have kids, so they remained unhappy. Mr. did not like to see his wife unhappy. Every night when his wife was asleep, Mr. would sit by the fire under the moon worrying about her. If only we could get our hands on that magic Kalilu once more, he thought. One evening, while Mr. was sitting under the moon contemplating, a wise old woman appeared from nowhere. Now, this wise woman knew everything about anything, and she told Mr. how she knew where the magic Kalilu was. She told him how a wicked, greedy man who had once lived in the village had stolen the plant, and how the man had eaten most of it, and his wishes had come true. But, she said, the man was lazy and did not water or nurture the magic Kalilu. So it had gotten smaller and smaller, and now there was only one Kalilu leaf left on the stalk. Then I must find it so we can make our wish, said Mr. Tell me where it is. But the wise old woman told Mr. that the man had put a barbed wire fence around the land, and it was impossible to get the plant because the last Kalilu leaf was guarded by dragons and snakes. So here he is just kicking it. He's trying to think, how am I going to help my wife out? And then he was visited by this wise old woman who appeared from the town of nowhere and tells him about the Kalilu. And we love a good moon in children's literature. Yeah, look at that. It's like a black background or like a purple background. And then you've got these bright oranges and pinks and reds all around. Mr. immediately woke his wife and told her what the wise woman had said. Though Mrs. was half asleep and the wise woman was no longer anywhere in sight, holding on to a smidgen of hope, Mrs. told her husband that they should go and find the last Kalilu leaf, no matter what. Mr. agreed. They packed a small bag, grabbed their axes, and set off. They searched and they searched, but their search was in vain, and soon they were lost. As night fell, the couple stopped to rest their aching feet at a crossroads between somewhere and nowhere. And a strange bird flapping its wings caw-cawed above them. As they followed it with their gaze, the bird rested on a tall, barbed-wired fence. Through the fence, they saw dragons and snakes, just like the wise woman had told Mr. And there, in the center of acres of farmland, was a meager-looking Kalilu stalk with only one Kalilu leaf left. So here's a picture of the upcoming battle that they're going to have. To get that Kalilu, there's the last leaf. And look at these illustrations, look at these colors here. Dragons, snakes. There it is, said Mrs. And without a second thought, she cut through the barbed wired fence with her axe. Then Mr. and Mrs. bravely fought the dragon and snakes with all their might, until Mr. finally defeated the last dragon and Mrs. slew the last snake. They grabbed the last Kalilu leaf and ran and ran and ran, paying no mind to where they were going, but making sure they were as far away from the village as possible, in case the wicked, greedy man should return and find them. When their legs were too tired to run any farther, they stopped. Mr. and Mrs. found themselves in the good place. Mrs. sat down and ate the last leaf from the magic Kalilu, and together she and Mr. made their wish. We wish for a child, they said. Oh, so they got a hold of the last leaf? Yes, Georgia Peach. Isn't this a great story? They got the last leaf. She digested it for the last wish. And before long, Mrs. had a baby, a little girl. We'll call her Lou, Mrs. said happily. and Mr. agreed. Mr. and Mrs. made themselves a lovely home in the good place, and their daughter Lou grew to be a fine young girl. She had beautiful hair with luscious afro curly locks, and the more her parents loved and cared for her, the more her healthy, shiny coils and curls grew out and far and wide, reaching the sun. Hey, Abby, welcome in. So here's the little baby girl that they got by eating the callaloo leaf. And she was young and healthy. Her hair grew and grew. I can't even tell us about slave dragons to promote pregnancy. Oh, in Caribbean culture, that's very interesting, Prince Hairfoot. Very interesting. And look at these, look at the sun here. Isn't this a great picture? It said Lou was a kind-hearted child, and Mr. and Mrs. loved her beyond measure. And when she was old enough to understand, they told her the story of the magic callaloo and how they wanted a child so much that had slain dragons and snakes to have her. They told her how Mrs. had eaten the last leaf of a magic callaloo and made a wish, and how their wish had come true. Okay, so she knows her background. When Lou heard her story, she was so intrigued that every day as she went about her business, she would sing out in celebration of how she had come to be. Lulu, wishes do come true. I am the last of the magic callaloo. So she's like the embodiment of the tree. And she would sing this little song here. This worried Mr. Hush, my sweet, he would say, not too loud. You never know who might be listening. Leave her alone, his wife would say. She is singing because she is happy. Perhaps we should keep her indoors so she would be safe, Mr. had told his wife. But Mrs. would not hear of it. A girl must be free to do as she chooses, said Mrs. Stop fussing, stop worrying. But Mr. did worry. He worried that the wicked man would come after them and take Lou away. The worry ate away at Mr. and he became sick. So sick that Mrs. had to care for him day in and night. She had no time for anything else. This meant Lou was free to do as she chose, and Lou enjoyed her freedom. She would go for long walks and sing all day. Lou, wishes do come true. I am the last of the magic callaloo. And so sweet was her voice, every creature would join in with her song in celebration of her life. Really interesting. So she knows where she came from. Dad's a little worried that the greedy old man's going to try to find her, take her away. Mom says, no, she's got to be free to do what she wants. Dad becomes really sick, and Mom's occupied taking care of the husband. One day, a strange man was passing through the good place. It was the wicked man who had stolen the callaloo from Village Square many years before. Since the plant had been taken from his land, he had not rested. He had spent his days angrily wandering in search of the thief who had taken it. When he heard Lou's song and saw how her luscious locks grew out and far and wide, reaching to the sun, just like the branches of the callaloo, he immediately knew what had happened. The person who had stolen the last callaloo leaf must have used the wish to make a child, and here she was, as bright and as ripe as the plant itself. You're coming with me, he snarled, and in a second the wicked man snatched Lou away. Let me go, Lou screamed, as the wicked man would not let her go, and the more she kicked and punched him, the tighter he held on to her. The man took Lou along a winding road that curled round and round, with many twists and turns. They went up hills, down valleys, across crisscross bridges, through a forest, and onto zigzag paths until they reached the big house on the farm with acres of land. So he had been following her, found her, kidnapped her, and now he's taking her back to where he was at. I think this is where they lived here. He's taking her. Oh no, here's the village square right here. This is your home now, he said. I may not have the magic Calulu anymore, but I have you, and you will serve me as the Calulu once did. I will command you, and you will do as I say. By now, the wicked man's house was messy. The walls needed painting, and the roof needed fixing. The fancy ornaments were all dusty. The farmland was overgrown with vines. The farm animals were neglected, and the wicked man made Lou take care of all of those things, as well as the cooking and the washing. Oh, hell nah. And when Lou tried to escape, the roads were too curly and twisty and crooked, and the trees in the forest too thick for her to find her way home. And the wicked man would catch her and drag her back to his farm. Oh, poor girl. So she's got to take care of this man's home. All overgrown. She's got to do the wash. For months and months and years, Lou worked and worked for the man. And as she worked, she became sadder and sadder. Oh, I'm sad that she's there for a long time. But the birds and the animals cared for her. They sang and danced and played around her as she did her chores, trying to make Lou smile. They liked it when she smiled, for when Lou smiled, the colors in the day seemed brighter, and the sound of their song was sweeter, and the scent in the air was purer. Their song reminded Lou who she was and not to give up. But though she enjoyed their play, Lou found it hard to smile. She missed her mother and father and her home so much, and Mr. and Mrs. Mister too. Since she disappeared, they had not stopped searching for her, but as the years passed, they had grown older and more weary, until they began to accept that they might never see their daughter again. This is sad, poor thing. So she got trapped by this guy, but she would sing with the jungle animals. You've got the leopard here, the ducks, the geese, the cows, the cats, the pigs, turkeys, the dog. They were all her friends. Lou grew to be a fine young woman. Her hair was even bigger and fuller, with glorious coils and curls, so healthy and bright and beautiful. The wicked man hated Lou's hair. He said it slowed down her work, got in the way. So he would cut it short, but Lou's hair would grow back thicker and longer than before. This made the wicked man vexed, but there was nothing he could do about it. Then one day a wise old woman, the same one who had met Lou's father many years before, saw Lou weeping outside the wicked man's house. "Why are you crying?" she asked. Lou was startled. She hadn't seen the wise woman approach. "I have been forced to work for this wicked man," she said, "and I want to go home." "So why don't you?" asked the woman. "Because I don't know the way," Lou said. Just then, the wicked man, who had been sleeping in his hammock, woke from his nap and came over to them. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am no one from nowhere in particular," said the wise woman. "I was just passing and saw your daughter. She has the most beautiful hair." "She's not my daughter," the wicked man said, "and her hair is a nuisance. It gets in the way of her work. Even when I cut it, it grows back fuller and stronger." "Then let me braid it," said the wise old woman. The wicked man looked at her suspiciously. "And what will you want in return?" "Nothing," said the wise woman. "I am weary, and if I can just sit for a while on your doorstep, that will be enough payment." Hey, Christina, welcome in. Christina, how are you doing? So he would cut her hair. Yeah. Oh, Prince Hairflip, you're right, huh? So he would braid her hair, or he would cut her hair, but it would grow back bigger. You're right. And so this lady sees her and says, "Why don't you lead?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know the way home." So let's see. Yeah, you love sleeping. The wicked man was pleased with this, and he sat on the doorstep and called the wise woman to sit beside him. "Very well," he said, "go ahead." Lou sat between the knees of the wise woman and rested her elbows on her thighs. The woman took a small bottle of oil and her purse and poured it on Lou's head. Then, with her fingers, she massaged the oil into Lou's scalp. The wicked man watched all the while, making sure the woman had not come to steal Lou away. The wise woman combed the tresses of Lou's hair with a comb made of maple wood until the tangled hair was loose and flowing. She made partings on Lou's head and twisted Lou's hair around her arthritic fingers, making neat, shiny, braided patterns. Every line was marked with tenderness, love, and care. Crooked zigzag markings, crises and crosses, lines going down, up, with bends and turns braided round and round to the central place where all the loose braid tails were twisted into one neat ball at the top. Then the wise old woman tapped the comb gently on Lou's head and said, "Done." This one's got some long sentences in it, keeping us going. So here's the wise woman braiding the hair of the girl. And there's the man just looking, seething. And when the wise woman leaned forward to stand up, she whispered in Lou's ear softly so the wicked man couldn't hear, "Your hair will lead you home." Lou didn't understand what the woman meant until she looked in the mirror and saw that what the wise woman had done. The beautiful rows of braids on Lou's head had made a pattern that looked familiar. So here's her braids, and there's the pathways that she can follow. Isn't that fascinating? A fascinating piece of history. Right outside the wicked man's house were crooked zigzag paths, just like the zigzag markings on her braids. The wise woman had given Lou a message, a secret way out. Maybe if she traced her fingers over the rows on her head and followed the paths with her feet, she would find her way home. That night, when the wicked man was asleep, Lou crept out of the bed and down the stairs and out of the big house. The full moon lit her way, and Lou followed the zigzag paths that were exactly like the markings on her head. She went through the partings in the trees like the ones in her hair, and when she came to the first crisscross bridge, she traced her fingers over a crisscross in her hair to find where it led. Then she followed the road until she reached more twisting roads like the twists in her hair. She followed the bends and turns in the braids with her fingers as she did the same with her feet on the road, stepping down the hills into the valleys and up the hills on the other side to a swirly, curly road that went around and around and around, up and up and up. So she would follow her, the pathways on her braids, and that would tell her where to go. That's really inventive. And then we always love a page break where we don't get any words. We just have to bring in. So here she is following her braids down the windy, twisty roads. And there's her mom and dad over there. So she's getting near. Isn't that a great picture, though? All the details. The sun with its rays, the little lights, the birds with their colors and their feathers, and the snakes, the pinks. Oh, Christine, you hate your CPAP? Oh no. Isn't that beautiful? The little monkeys. When did you have to start using that, Christina? And from there, she could see her mother and father tending their garden in the good place. With a sharp intake of breath, Lou said to herself, I'm home, and she ran down the hill to meet them. Mr. and Mrs. could not believe what they were seeing. Lou, is that you? Screamed Mrs. It is, cried Mr., rubbing his eyes. It's Lou. She's come back to us. Without another thought, Mr. and Mrs. ran to meet Lou, their hearts bursting with love and happiness. And as they hugged her, a tiny seed fell from Lou's hair and took root in the soil below. A new magic Callie waiting to be loved and nurtured. Also, the wise woman put a little seed in her head. And as for the wicked, greedy man who wanted all to himself, he remained between somewhere and nowhere. And the big house and the farm became so overgrown with vines that he was never seen again. The end. The Magic of Callie. This is a really good book. Definitely one for the archives. I'd like to purchase a copy of my own. This is a really good book. I love this story. The illustrations. Yeah, and another baby maybe. And a welcome in. It's a good one. Definitely a 10. Okay, in the comment section, let's see what everybody's thinking. We first started with Little Leaders, Bold Women, and Black History. And then we just finished up The Magic Callie. This is definitely number one. All right, in the comment section, let's see what everybody's thinking. Excellent, 10. And Abby, you give it a 10. And you give it a 10. You guys were doing your homework while we were reading. Thank you guys so much for that. 35,000 likes. We're already near our goal. And that was a good one. Yeah, 10 across the board. I agree. 100 for sure. Lots of history. We learned a lot of things. I did not know about the tracks in the hair that they would leave for themselves so they could lead their way. It was very smart. I can imagine like a starting point right here and just kind of feeling your way. Say, well, we got to go this way, we got to go that way. They're very intelligent. Okay, so we set our timer for 1 minute. Let's tap away. Really good title. Let's read next Ruth Octopus. We're going to do some books with some gorgeous illustrations tonight. Ruth Octopus. We love a good mood in children's literature. Look at the, yes, yep, a map and rice to eat. Agree. And seeds to plant. Look at these little tentacles here for the octopus. Ruth Octopus. Oh, you guys are going to really like the illustrations on this one. It started with a tap at the window that woke Nora up. Out she looked, and there it sat. An octopus on her apartment building. A big one. So, here's Nora. She's asleep. She hears a tap. She goes outside and she sees this huge octopus outside her window. She probably lives in New York City. Thank you so much for that, Prince Flip. She rushed from her room and went to tell her parents. In the kitchen, her father was making waffles and her mother was pulling out the breakfast plates. Her baby sister sat in her high chair. She was pointing out the window. So a lot of details in this picture. So here's Nora. She wakes up. She goes into the kitchen and you see all of these the utensils, everything, the cupboards, everything's covered in design. You've got the coffee pot here. Got all these little intricate designs, but I think too what makes this different are the colors that they've used. So there's mom and dad making waffles. And there's their little sister there. Then you got teapots, cupboards. Yes, a lot of details. There's the little octopus hand. Nora cleared her throat. Excuse me, there's an octopus on our apartment. Her father stopped pouring batter and looked out the window. An octopus on our apartment? Her mother looked out too. I don't see anything. Then a tentacle dropped down from above and wrapped itself around the fire escape railing. See, Nora said, there's an octopus out there. Lauren, thank you so much for the gift. So she alerts her parents. They go to the window. And there's the octopus tentacle. See, there's an octopus. Her family and neighbors quickly gathered outside for a better look. Everyone started talking at once. Would you look at that? Wow, it's blocking my whole view. Nora's mother said, I wonder if it's lost. It might be part of a migration, her father said. So they're all looking up on the apartment complex at the octopus, wondering, where does this thing come from? I think someone needs to call the Coast Guard about this, said Mr. Dodson. Nora said nothing. She only waved at the octopus, and it waved back. So there's Mr. Dodson saying that they should take it to the Coast Guard. But look at those details. Hey, Mindy, welcome in. Look at the details of that apartment complex. Isn't that fun? You got a cat right here, and then the tentacles. Some birds. Mr. Dodson. If we ignore it, maybe it will go away, suggested the landlord. So they all went on to work and to school and tried not to make eye contact with it. So they were going to ignore it. Kristen Stevens, so we start at 10 o'clock for the East Coast. So if you're in the East Coast, we start at 10. And then for the West Coast, we start at 9. So if you're on the East Coast and you miss the 10 o'clock one, you can stay up for the 12 o'clock. Sunday through Wednesday. So here's the octopus up here, and then here's the building. And then here. Oh, you usually catch the other one? Yeah. And then we're streaming on YouTube, so they get recorded on YouTube as well. Lots of detail in the city. I like that this artist took their time to make all of these little cities here. The buildings in the background here. Really interesting. Thank you so much, Kristen. But the octopus stayed there all day and all through the night. So they couldn't busy themselves with the octopus. The octopus just kicking it right on top of the building there. All through the day and then the night. We love a good moon in children's literature. I like how they split that. They use the octopus as the divider. Yeah, a bit spooky. The big old octopus. The next day, Mr. Dodson was washing his car. The octopus reached out a long, strong tentacle, took a soggy sponge and helped him, which was a very nice thing for it to do. It seems like a neighborly sort of octopus, said the landlord with a shrug. And the octopus was. I love how we don't know yet in this story where this octopus comes from. We just know the reaction of the people. I love it, Mindy. John, welcome in. Corey, welcome in. Welcome back, guys. I love it, Mindy. We're here to heal our inner child. It pulled the weeds from flower boxes. It walked Abe Myrtle's dogs. It helped the mailman deliver mail. And it carried Mr. and Mrs. Carmen up to their fourth story apartment. So here's the octopus, and these are all the good things that he's doing for the neighborhood. He pulled the weeds from the flower boxes. It walked Abe McIntyre's dogs. It helped the mailman deliver mail. And then it carried Mr. and Mrs. Carmen up to their 4th story. He became really helpful. It held the door open for Nora's parents when their arms were full of groceries. And once or twice it rocked her baby sister to sleep. But what it liked to do best of all was to swing for Nora. But what it liked to do best of all was be a swing for Nora and her friends. So she would take the tentacle, put the kids on it, and be like a swing. This is a really cute story video. I'm really enjoying this one. And the illustrations on this are gorgeous too. The time that it took to make all of these little details here. And then the details on the octopus. Curly tentacles. I like you, Nora told the octopus one evening when it came to wish her good night. Would you come to school for show and tell sometime? This Friday, the octopus slipped a tentacle into the room. Nora shook it. It's a deal then, she said. The octopus slipped its tentacle back out and shut her window for the night. So Nora is the first one. Nora is the first one to make contact with the octopus, so she invites it to school. Look at the lighting on this. Isn't that great? It's like white silhouettes here. I know the eyes. So funny. When Nora woke up, the octopus was gone. Oh, maybe it went to the school. So it was sitting up here on the roof for the longest time. Who wrote this book? Lucy Branham, and illustrated by Rogelio Coelho. Rogelio. And there's Nora. She's like, what? What happened to the octopus? I'm sorry, honey, said Nora's mother. It probably found its way home. Might be back next year, though, with another migration, Nora's father suggested. It's moved on to bigger and better things, I reckon, said the landlord. I'm going to miss it terribly all the same. Aw. So there's Nora. She's looking out. She misses the octopus. The excitement. The excitement of having an octopus on your building. Nora said nothing and went on to school that day. And the next one, and the next one. And nothing remarkable happened at all. Oh, I thought the octopus would have went to the school, but I guess not. So there's the city. Look at all these shapes here of the cars. And then the leaves in the trees. The little plants. And then look at the design on this car here. So pretty. Yeah, he went for a swim. He was probably getting dehydrated. Until Friday. While Nora was doing her math, there was a tap at the window. Out she looked, and there it sat. The octopus was at her school. The octopus came back. This is very creative. Yeah, he had to get some water again. Oh, did you get any candle today, John? What'd you get? Are they on sale? Oh, that was it. We never found out where this octopus came from. I was waiting for where it came from, but it just showed up at the school. That was it. This is very good. This is well written. It kept me intrigued. I wanted to find out where the octopus came from, but that wasn't the end of the story. I love it. Roof octopus. All right, you guys are getting really good titles tonight. Really good titles tonight. Yeah, the mysterious. Yeah, really good illustrations, Princess. I agree. All right, we started with Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. The Magic of Kalulu. We're getting really good art tonight. And Roof, Octopus. A lot of these, you could just take these straight out of the book, put it on a picture somewhere, and put it on a wall somewhere. You can get a nice museum. Chocolate covered berries. Ooh, that must smell really interesting. It's better than paying $25. Oh, yeah. That smells, I bet you that smells really good. All right, let's set the timer for 1 minute. We're close to our goal. Thank you guys so much for getting us there. Almost there. Let's tap for 1 minute. Our next story, The City Tree. The City Tree. This one's going to have really good illustrations too. I just love color. There's a little kite there. It's got some, the tail there, this little bright red pop. Looks like her hat. We love a good end page. Little city of a map of the city or a building. The City Tree. Some gorgeous colors. We love that pink. In front of Danny's building was a hole. Sometimes dusty, sometimes puddly, and sometimes wild with bits of green. So there's, what's her name? Danny. Danny's building. In front of Danny's building was a hole. So here's Danny, I think. And that's the city that she lives in. Nice little city with storefronts, a bookstore, bread shop. The ground all around was a carpet of concrete. Footsteps tapping and clacking by. One day, Danny saw something coming. Something different from the bricks and buses, glass and steel. Okay, so you notice? Yeah, there's no plants or anything, no greenery. And then one day this truck comes in with a tree. Its bark was craggy, its limbs were curvy, and its leaves flip-flapped. There's Danny and there's the tree. Danny used to be woken in the morning by the garbage and recycling trucks rumbling and crunching. Definitely the city. Now, at dawn, little birds in the tree chirped and cheeped. Aw, so they got this tree, and now, instead of the dump trucks, loud city noises, she gets these birds. The little birds. Bird nest. The tree was a weather vane. Its leaves fluttering said breezy today. Its branches bending said bundle up. On wet days, Danny watched the leaves grow brighter green with a wash of pattering raindrops. This has got some really good words in it. So the tree acted as a weather vane, and its branches bending said bundle up. Thank you, Mindy. I got it at Old Navy. It's a good shirt. The city clanged and snorted and roared. The trees rustled and swished and soothed. So there's the tree, big and healthy. It's got the city people outside. Traffic bellowed and belched. The trees spreading canopy made a cloak that shielded Danny from the noise and the grime. So there she is, protected. There are the little birds. And there's the city. It added some life to her concrete jungle. Prince Hairflip lives close to the city, New York City. Danny watched the branches weaving new shapes, the shadows always changing. Look at these definite colors here, these shapes, patterns, these little colors. And then the tree, you get like this little silhouette of the tree. People hurried and scurried, rushing right past Danny and the tree. The tree stood steadfast. Danny poured out stories, wonders, and worries. She took full advantage of that tree. It was a nice addition to her neighborhood. Danny climbed bigger trees in the park, trees with squirrels and blossoms and apples to eat. So that tree just started getting bigger and bigger. And people were just taking advantage of it. But always came home to this tree, which was less magnificent, but more special. Oh, so she'd go to the park, but they always came back to the tree in their house, in front of their apartment complex. You got the little owl there with the little eggs. These orangey yellowish leaves, and then the little boy here. They're sharing the cupcakes with each other. However, not everyone passing was kind to the tree, and it often needed some help. So every once in a while, people, yeah, it must be fall. Those gorgeous leaves. So they would take care of it. It was in the neighborhood. Curb your dog. In spring, buds appeared and leaves unfurled. The tree was a garden. Nice spring day. The tree had little buds on it. Isn't that pretty? The deli, the grocery. La Estrellita. In summer, the leaves shaded the stoop and sidewalk from the hot sun. The tree was an oasis. Look at that, how pretty. All the people are out during the summertime. Very colorful. Yes. We're getting a lot of good colored pictures tonight. In fall, golden leaves floated down one after another. The tree was a treasure chest. Halloween, fall time. With the pumpkins. Different floats, costumes. A hot dog, a giraffe, spider. Isn't that a good page, Abby? Yeah, it's very cute. Hey, Julia, welcome in. And in the winter, the branches rested like paintbrushes in a cup. The tree was the starlight. Oh, wintertime. You have the menorah, the wreath, snowman, people playing in the snow. Yes, some blue shades here. The sign of winter. These purples too. Morning, noon, and night, through stormy days and sunshine rays, the tree was a good friend. Look at how pretty they decorated it with some ornaments. They're singing underneath it. Not a great picture. The beads. And then look at these colors here in the back of the violets and the oranges and the reds. Very pretty. The end. This is the life of a street tree. Why are street trees special? Street trees. So there's actual a name for the trees in the city. We had a whole bunch of these trees. Yeah, and the pinks are really pretty too. We had a whole bunch of trees like this in our school site, but they took them down because of the leaves. But it reminds me of that. This one was published, John, in 2023. 2023, so 3 years ago, The City Tree. Good book, good illustrations. You guys are getting really good titles tonight. Really good. All right, we started the live with Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. We started it off with The Magic Callaloo. That was a really good one. And then Roof Octopus. And then The City Tree. Really good art tonight, guys. Really good art. Okay, in the comment section, let's see what everybody is thinking. We have achieved our goal above and beyond 49K. You guys did a really good job. Let's set the timer for 1 minute. 10 for John. Mindy, the first one was kind of long. That's why we're going a little bit over tonight. John 4. The Magic of Callaloo. That was a long one. Okay, let's look in the stacks and see what we can find. We're getting really cultured tonight. We're going to read, our last one tonight is Bijan Always Wins. 10 for the last book. Marie Seaside, Love the City Tree. 10 is Bijan Always Wins. I love that name, Bijan. And I love the illustrations on this one. Look at their little glasses and their facial expressions. We love a powder blue end page. Bijan. Bijan always won. That was his favorite thing. I love that name, Bijan. He always won. That was his favorite thing. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you guys for the 50K. I really appreciate that. He drew a bird and showed it to Mickey. Look at this bird. I win. Mickey showed her own bird. You can't win at drawing birds, Bijan. But Bijan always won. Guys, look at this picture. There's Bijan with his little bird picture. He said his picture was better. But look at her picture, Mickey's picture. I think her picture's a little bit better. She's like, no, I don't agree with that. Yeah, French, huh? Bijan. At lunch, Bijan ate asparagus, which smelled funny. Jonah ate carrots. I win. You can't win at vegetables, Jonah cried. But Bijan said, I always win. He's going to make a contest out of everything. Like his little friend. His little friend is upset. You have the little sandwich, the carrots, the asparagus. They must be at a good school if they're eating asparagus. Bijan played dinosaurs with his friends. I win again. How do you win at dinosaurs? I always win. Bijan's friends weren't convinced, but Bijan wasn't worried. I don't need anyone else. I always win. Look at all the kids looking at them. I love the way they've drawn these kids. Their faces, like squares and circles. I win, he said, as he played with his sister in the backyard. I win again, he told the mirror as he brushed his teeth. I always win, he murmured as he fell asleep. Bijan, whether he's playing something or not, he's just obsessed with winning. Bijan stomped the ground and breathed fire like a dragon. No one made the earth thunder the way he did. I win, he roared, but the other dragon had to deal with the flames. Oh, okay. So he's gonna go up against. That was kind of random. So he went from playing with his friends, and now he's going to dinosaurs. Oh, he must be dreaming. Bijan swam beneath the ocean. No one could dive as deep as he did, where the water turned dark and the fish had lights on their heads. I win again, he burbled, but there was no one there to hear him. That there's that fish with the light in front of it. Yeah, I think he's dreaming right now. Bijan raced from cloud to cloud, flying like a bird. No one flew as high as him. No one jumped as far. I win, he shouted to the people down below. But the people couldn't hear him. They danced and smiled and played together without him. So he got so high above in the clouds with his I win that he became isolated by himself. Yes, the fish in Nemo. I always win! Bijan cried so loud the trees shook, but no one heard him. I always win, I always win. Everybody just started ignoring him now. Nobody cared. An anglerfish. Thank you so much, John. So funny. Bijan won at waking up, and at breakfast the next morning when he left the marshmallows for last. Bijan even won at tying his shoes before he left for school. Yeah, he's a little bit too positive. I want to know what this is leading to. In music, Bijan played hot cross buns on his recorder. I win. He shouted when he got every note right, but Mickey and Cam, who usually played with him, picked different seats. I win, he called again, but they were busy playing without him. So he's just all up in his I win, and everybody's getting tired of it. They're just ignoring him. Going on. What time I was on or cruise late at night, staying at the ocean, and I swear I saw one. Oh, one of the anglerfish? Oh, how fun. Want to paint with me? He asked when he got to art. But Jonah said, no, you always want to win. And Myra said, you're no fun. So Bijan watched as Jonah painted a sunrise and Myra painted a lake. And they made a beautiful world between them. But all Bijan painted was a blob. Were you able to identify it, John? Or, So the kids eventually, they just got tired of him saying I win all the time. It was no fun. Bijan played alone at recess. All around him, his classmates ran and jumped and smiled and laughed, and none of them worried about winning. More than anything, I want to win at being a friend. Oh. So he started feeling some remorse. Always trying to be the winner. Because the kids eventually just decided not to listen to him. A light in the water, it was going through the water fast. Oh, cool. So when they practiced writing and Riley's pencil broke, Bijan offered one of his. I guess you win, Riley said. But Bijan said, you can't win at sharing pencils. And they sat and wrote together. Aw. Bijan learned his lesson. At lunch, Bijan ate his entire peanut butter and honey sandwich without dipping his fingers, weren't sticky at all. His fingers weren't sticky at all. Looks like you win, Sean said. You can't win at sandwiches, Bijan said. After class, Bijan brought out his dinosaur again. I'm sorry, I wanted to win at everything, he told his friends. Can we play? Can we play dinosaurs? Yes, his friends shouted. Bijan handed out the dinosaurs and they roared and growled and stomped and played together. Bijan laughed and smiled too. I like this girl's features here. Little square with the glasses. Interesting facial characters. Nobody won, but Bijan felt like they did anyway. That's really cute. I want to take this to middle school. Some of my kids could really learn from this one. The end. Bijan always wins. Or so he thought. Okay, in the comment section, let's see what everybody's thinking. You guys got really good books tonight for a Monday night. Lots of learning, lots of culture, lots of art. We started with Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. Followed that up with The Magic Kalilu. This is a great one. Maybe if I yell, I win, people will yell out at work, princess, right? Keep doing it, princess. Yeah, it'll keep people away. Roof Octopus. The City Tree. And then Bijan always wins. Dijon. Although I keep thinking you're saying, I know, huh? Maybe it's something completely different, but it sounds like Bijan. I think that's an interesting name. Interesting name for some interesting illustrations. Michelle Tran is the illustrator. Alrighty, in the comment section, let's see what everybody's thinking. 10, John 4. Marie Seaside 3 and 4. I'm going to say all of them tonight. All of them were good choices. All of them were good picks. Tanya, welcome in. 2 was your favorite, Abby? There's a guy in the NFL named Bijan Robinson. Oh, was I saying that right? John? Bijan. I'm going to look up and see where it comes from. What's the nationality on that one? Oh, okay. Alrighty, friends. Thank you so much for tonight. You guys did a fantastic job. 60K. 1,000 likes. You guys went above and beyond our goal tonight of 45K. If you're on the East Coast and you're getting ready for bed, everybody have a good night. If you're going to stay up with us, we're going to be back on again in about 30 minutes. Oh, no, that's okay, Tanya. We'll be back on again in 30 minutes with all new fresh titles. Everybody have a good Monday night, and we will see you either in 30 minutes or tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for letting this California lady. Oh, Princess, no, we'll be back on again in 30 minutes, 9 o'clock. Yes, Marie Seaside. We'll see you then.